All right, perfect weather, Colorado, to work on a car. This is my workshop right here. Yep. Here it is there. The welds. I was actually surprised for the cost. Looks like it's got the cotter pins and the fittings, grease fittings, the zerts. So the zert and the cotter pins are taped on both. I'll be working on getting this installed here real quick. Let the fun begin. I'm about to install the CPP mini sub kit, lower control arms, cross brace. So yeah, it'll be fun. Just put the ball joints in precision. Gonna pull them back out. And we got the cam, lower control arm there. Strut rod, we gotta pull this out. Yep. Probably won't even, may not even bother with this. We'll see. I can unbolt it from there. Well, it might be in the way. Got one right here. We get these rivets out. So you gotta use those for the bolts, and then looks like the radiator's gonna be in the way. We'll see. Yep, radiator's definitely gonna be in the way. So what I'm gonna try to do is, instead of draining it, I'm gonna see if I can unbolt it and put a 2x4 and just push it up, because it's got electric fan and stuff on it, so it won't have to drain. Jesus Christ, come on. Fuck. We got a little tip right here. So on the socket, it can't work. It's hitting. So what's happening is the arm is down. So when the arm's down, it's making the angle in the back up. So if you plan on using the impact, which would be smart, you need to loosen this before you even jack the car up, take the wheels off. Would be my suggestion, because you can get right to it. Or you're gonna have to do what I do. You're gonna have to put a jack underneath, lift that up so you can get the socket in straight and use that. There's a just learned lesson. think the boot slightly worn out, maybe blown a little bit. So that's there. So that'd be why the front end part of it was flopping all over the place. I was about to cut it off, but found a way. So save it. And then we got an extra strut arm. We gotta do the same thing the other side. Now I can get this jack off, try to get this ball joint, and get this one free. Yep. Ways to go. Yep, that's probably one of the, I think between those bolts and getting these rivets out gonna be the worst part, but I'm guaranteeing you I'm gonna have another nightmare doing this kit because I have that nice little hook rip in that plate. It's gonna want to sit flat right here, so I'm probably gonna have to use a cutoff wheel, sledgehammer, all kinds of crap because of stupid tow hook. Yep, here's morons for you. Yep, could have easily grabbed it over here and not have the radiator above it, to where obviously even then it would have probably damaged and ripped that. His car was stuck or something, but yep, that's gonna be a nightmare. There's your strut. It's a 1-inch socket or 1-inch nut. Use plenty of PB blaster or something. So you can't get this out this way. Well, you might be able to pry it, but because it's still, even with the jack, it's angled up. Still, washer's still hitting this. So for me, the easiest way is take the two nuts off there, slide it, and then it just goes that way. That's the easiest way. But you can see, yep. So this is basically strut rod. It's your second half of your control arm. You got one single piece there, and you got this piece here. So that right there is a little worn out, and it allows this to move, which I'm upgrading all this stuff prematurely. I don't want to be doing it, but what's happening is when I'm setting the toe on this, I get it within a 1/16 inch. I'll drive it around the block, pull it back in the driveway, and it's 1.5 to 2 inches off just from driving around the block. So it's telling me bushings are blown. Quarter inch. Yep, this is gonna suck. a little worn. Yeah. Okay. So now to the shock balance, got 2 1/2-inch nuts. Yeah, one I took off right here, and the other one is way up. Where am I? Way up here. You can see it. The shiny one. I'll take that off. You can do extension with the impact on the second one, but you can't do it on the first one. That's kind of scary. Quick way. Tower off. So I lost the battle. These didn't have any more bite on them, so they were just free spinning, as you can see. Look, there it is. Yeah. So I was able to get one off, but the time it was taking, I was to do a cutoff wheel, which wasn't a great idea, but it worked. And it damaged some of this and this, so I might have to put a weld there. But it definitely beat the 2 hours of screwing with this. So the way you can try to do it, let's go to this side. Inside, you can take a screwdriver and go underneath the little button head that's in there. You're gonna hammer this in to try to wedge it and to push it up. So the screwdriver is perfect for that because it already has the natural slant. So that would be my first thing I would attempt to do, is hammer that in there, push the bolt up. If it's got any of the carriage, it's kind of a carriage bolt, square head left, it can catch, and then that's how I got one done, but the other ones I kept pounding away and it wouldn't lock them in, so I had no choice. Seeing all of them, really, it didn't exist. There's a tiny bit there, but it's not, it didn't work at all. Yeah. So yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna try to find a better solution. I'm actually going to try to find a carriage bolt that has a lot thicker square notch in it. At least, like, I mean, there's room in here for a 1/4 inch, so I'm going to see if I can find some. We'll see. But bad design. So now I got a coil spring compressor in. Just got to tighten this up. I'm trying to get this coil spring out, and then I'll have the fun of taking this bolt here and this one on this other side. That gets your upper control arm out. So I got to check those bushings. They go back and forth. And we got it out. Yeah, bushings are a little worn. Yep. So looks like we'll be doing that. So this Nova wagon 66 has a different style. This is a grease cert type. So instead of I guess they had a version that didn't have that. The Nova guy was telling me about something where they used a rubber bushing instead of this metal sleeve with the. This is pretty tight, so I don't know if I'll mess with this. And there's the control arm. Blew it out. Take the sway bar link out. 9/16. Three-quarter inch ball joint bolt. And now we'll try to drop this down. Let's take those out. Where are they? So 3/4 inch control arm bolts. Half-inch ratchet. I don't have down here. Dang it. Get some tools. Sick ball joints. Stupid fucks. Finally, destroy the fucking boot. For those of you that really don't know what's going on with the front mini subframe kit thing, so that's the original control arm lower. So it's really just one arm and a strut rod. And this tightens to the bracket on the front of the frame. So as you're tightening that, it kind of binds it. So this is Chevy's creation of ultimate stupidity. So we're eliminating that, going with more of a traditional design. So for the Chevy lovers out there, which I am, but I have the common sense, I respect them all. Ford did this for 2 years. Chevy did it for what, 63 to 67? So it tells you which company was the dumbest. So in this case, Chevy was the morons of the universe using this garbage. Ford did it for 2 years and said nope. But the real hard part for me is, I understand when you're committed to development and parts. So you got first gen, which is what, 63 to 65. They should have said, okay, enough of that. For second gen Nova, 66, 67, you know, let's use common sense here. But nope, they kept the same garbage even on a second gen. That's how moronic Chevy is. So Chevy lovers, big L for you. This is the Garbo. We're getting out of here, so just want to do that real quick. I'm going to finish pulling off the shock and the spring passenger side, and then it should be done. Then I can start on the rivets. Here I got 2 nuts on the shock to do. I'm going to do the back one. The back one, you can go an extension up underneath. Unfortunately, the front one you can't do that with. You have to do a short socket and a ratchet, which please have it here. I think so. You got lucky. Yep. Nope, that's half inch. And I don't have it here. Alright, I got the sockets half inch. That's it for that. Now I should be able to pull it from the top. Okay, now we just gotta do the spring. We get the spring compressor here. Get that going. And then I run a spacer. It's like a 3-inch piece of tube on here. Just regular steel. Works the best for me. 2 washers. So let me get this on. Get the last bolt. Got this one done. There. Now I'm working on that one. Sucks, but luckily there's just enough room above the fuel pump to get a ratchet in here. Sucks, but it's working. This would have been nice to know before I put the engine in, so I won't ever do that again. I've been
done with this. This has taken about an hour, a half hour to an hour to just to get 2 of these nuts off. What a nightmare that was. So, yeah. First one I screwed up. I didn't take the wire brush to the threads, so that's a must. And spray the PB blaster. So as a make for sure, you clean the threads and then spray the PB blaster. And that's all she wrote. Whew. Dang. Thank God these didn't spin free. I'd have been hating life. Yeah, spring perch upper. So this one feels good. Needs some grease, but there's no wiggle or nothing. But so next step will be pressing out these bushings. That's going to be fun. He's probably original, who knows. For now, that's all she wrote. Upper control arm out, lower control arms out, strut rods out, ball joints all out. Then I had to take the coil spring covers, that one right there, to get the compressor on. I tried doing it with the cover on. I couldn't get it going, so it was just easier to unscrew the coil spring cover. And a lot more room to get in there and mess with it. So that's it. Now what I'll do probably tomorrow, I don't know, maybe today, who knows, I'm gonna cut the rivets for the strut arm brackets, get them off the frame so I can get the CPP cross member lower control arm bracket mounted. That's the next step. Alright, today we're going to be drilling out rivets. We're doing the cross member thing from the CCP mini sub. So we're going to be taking the cutoff wheel, slicing these up. We got 3. One back here, one here, and there's one down in here. That one will be the worst. So we got 2, 4, 5 per strut arm bracket. We got to get these off. And then we're using the existing holes. Then I'll be dealing with this hook damage here, which I'm going to take the cutoff wheel, flatten it up, maybe take the sledgehammer, kind of try to bend this up. I don't know if this is going to be in the way, because the bracket comes like this, it kind of goes like that, so it might go around this, but either way, I'm going to trim this, hammer this back in, and then I might even weld it since I'm here. But let me get the cutting these with the cutoff wheel.